Dumelang, and welcome to Mommy Diaries. This show is about parenting, motherhood, and this amazing journey ya ho hodisa bana ba rona. On today's show, I think it's one of those episodes that I've been dreaming about because I really want us as the podcast entirely to start talking about wellness, not just about parenting, not just about being a mom, but just about wellness when it comes to women. And today we have Charity Gumede. I don't have the
Oh my
poo.
gosh. She's calling me by my real name.
Okay, Shaz.
better.
No, okay, Shaz.
Okay, but I'm embracing it. Go for it. Hit me with it. I'm
And it's a
embracing it
beautiful
now.
name.
It actually is.
Yeah.
I'm learning that it is.
Yeah.
I used to hate it.
You used to hate it?
Yeah.
Why?
Absolutely. I mean, kids. I think kids, kids, charity kids, those sort
Got
of vibes.
you. Yeah.
So annoying.
Yeah. But now you slowly embracing it.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
Shaz is also nice.
I made Shaz. So
You made Shaz.
I made
Okay, let's
Shaz.
just you are
Okay.
for today.
Yeah.
Because I see the confidence. It's even worse when we talk
When you
about
say
Shaz.
I'm like, yes. Yes.
Yeah. How are you, Shaz?
I am so good. I am so good, Pasi.
Yeah.
I'm fabulous. How are you?
I'm tired.
You tired?
I
Okay.
have period
That's okay.
pains.
Oh no.
Mm.
It's the time.
It is the time.
It is the time. It is
Yeah.
Women's Month.
It is
so
Women's Month.
valid.
Yeah, but more than anything, Shaz, I am truly, truly grateful that you flew all the way from Durban to come have this conversation with me. I've been wanting to talk to you, and that's the one thing I appreciate about social media.
Yeah.
Is the fact that we get to see people.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, it doesn't matter how much the flight is. I want this
And
girl
you
here.
did. Oh my God, you did.
Yeah, and I think
You
more than anything, your story was touching, but at the same time, very educational, especially
Love
to
that.
me. I had no idea what Stevens-Johnson syndrome is.
Yes.
And that's our topic today, Stevens-Johnson syndrome. I didn't even know that it is the awareness month, yeah, Stevens-Johnson syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
So everything is aligned.
Everything is perfectly aligned.
Yeah.
Because remember last year, your assistant reached out.
Yes.
And I wasn't well enough to travel at the time last year.
Yeah.
And I feel like we just didn't also have alignment then.
We didn't.
So now we do.
We do.
And it all came together.
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you so much for bringing me out here. Like, this is so special.
Yeah.
I've been the most excited for this one. This is my favorite so far.
I'm happy. Let's just go back to let's park Shaz for a while.
Yeah.
Charity.
Okay.
Who is she?
Yeah.
What did she like? How was her childhood?
Yeah. I like that because Charity is, like my inner child, Shaz is the name I gave myself after I made a name for myself as a beautician. But Charity is who I am at my core, you know? So, yeah, my name is Charity Nonduduzo. Nonduduzo means, I don't know the direct translation. Yes. Which is so crazy, but we'll go back to that. The fact that that's my name.
Got you.
And Gumede. And I am 32 and I'm from KZN. I'm from the very deep north rural areas of KZN, called Imakambini.
Okay.
That's where I was born. My mom was 20 when she had me. And I was born from my mom and my dad, who was a lot older than my mom when I was born. And my gran raised me because my mom was quite young at the time and she had me until I was about 9, 10, I think. And then by then my mom had gone out there and done the things so that we could have a little home for ourselves. So I lived in the rural areas until about 9, 10. And then after that, we moved to Richards Bay, which is just like a cute little city about an hour away from home. So that's my...
Yeah, and what did you like as a girl, young girl? Like, what made you happy then?
So, like, the reason I'm a beautician is because I've always been a girly girl. Like, I've always loved hair and nails and pretty little... Yes, I've always loved it. I used to braid my own hair. First, I used to put on, like a doek? Like a doek that I have? I used to take my grand's doek and tie it up here so that it's like...
It's long. I used to do that.
Did you do that?
And then I do this.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you want to put it behind
Those
you.
are the
Yes.
if there's wind.
Yes.
Oh
Oh
say
my
less.
gosh. I used
Say
to do
less,
that
because that's where I'm
too.
going.
Yeah.
So I was definitely that girl. And I mean, I stayed that girl. That's how I ended up being a beautician, because when I went to, so I used to like that. I used to like singing. I think I've always been a creative. Like I've always enjoyed just like creating in like I don't know, an entertainment space type
Got
shit.
you.
You know, like I like beautiful things. I like celebrations. I like,
Yeah.
you know, just like happy things.
Happy
Like papa.
things.
Anything that
Yeah.
involves papa, I'm there.
Yeah.
And then I grew up, I was raised in a very conservative Christian home.
Got you.
That was like my grand's side. My gran she was a very strict, staunch woman. Like my gran was such a staunch Christian woman that even around the area, if people's children did something weird, like they would call my gran would put you in a kraal, like a cow's kraal.
Yeah.
She was that strong. They would close the kraal and she would have a whip.
Yeah.
And she would sort that child out.
Yeah.
But she wasn't like that to me. She wasn't like that to me. My gran and I were very close. She's a very strong woman. My grandpa died quite early, so she raised a lot, like my mom and her siblings, all 7 of them, you know, on her own, just on like, you know, selling in the shops, not even selling in the shops, selling at schools outside in the area. So I had a very humble beginning. Nobody drank at home as well. So it was all of like what I was exposed to from my father's side, which was a lot more. My dad was a polygamist. His dad was a polygamist. My great-grandfather has an area named after him because he was that great of a polygamist. If anybody knows of Mbola in Ngwavuma, which is like just off the border of Mozambique, that's where my dad was from. And my grandfather was a polygamist, such a great polygamist.
Not Jonas.
He was, I mean, you know what, it's my family. This is my family.
He was doing it the right way.
He was doing it the right way. Actually,
yeah.
I mean, because it does come from a culture.
It does, yeah.
So yeah, those are my people. And on my dad's side, there was polygamy, there was drinking. I was exposed to a very completely different side, and I think it rocked me as much as I wasn't aware. It was exciting for me, you know. My dad had 10 children from 7 different women, so I didn't see him very often. I don't even remember meeting him like when I was 7, I think. And it rocked me. It rocked me experiencing that side. But I mean, I loved him. He was my father, you know, and when he came, we had a very complicated relationship.
Yeah.
But it was very exciting, like just meeting him and meeting his side of life. But my wiring, because the foundation of my belief is that, you know, drinking is wrong, polygamy is wrong, all of those things, as much as it was exciting, in my core, I also believed that that was wrong. So my childhood, something I want to explain about my childhood as well, is that there was a bit of a contrast. And I'm not saying like there's anything wrong with that, you know. People come from different backgrounds and they meet and they make children, and children's people have to adapt. But I think, and I say this just to explain what my wiring is compared to what I experienced later. When I did get older and I started becoming curious about like narcotics and all of those things, and I started experimenting with them, I, in my core, felt like I was a horrible person and that I was evil because those were my core beliefs.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And once you, like, there's so many things that even when I look at them now, where our parents were like, this is wrong. If you do this, you're going to die. Even now in our old age, when you do it, you still feel like you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, because that's the voice in our head. That's the voice in our head. Our parents, our voices, our inner critics are our parents. They are the people, our caregivers. You know? People that had a big impact in our lives at an early age.
So have you always lived in one area?
I have. I've always lived in the north of KZN. My mom had different jobs in different parts of KZN, especially in rural KZN. So we moved always like around where my mom was working, but our foundation was always home. Like our base was home in Magdambin. Always. My dad, I would occasionally visit when he occasionally decided to pop in. Yeah. You know the deal.
Yeah. The popping in.
Busy man.
My dad used to pop in as well. When he feels like it.
And literally, that's the vibe.
Yeah. And only later on, when the older we get, we realize, well, actually, it's not nice.
It's not. I realized very early. I realized very early. My mom says one day, like after he came back and picked me up, I came back and I was so angry because he was busy like introducing me to women. Because I don't understand this whole polygamy thing. I understood mother, father, child, family. No, my dad, he used to love taking me around because also when I was younger, I was a very easy. Like I was very smart, you know, very empathetic. And until you did something that really hurt me, and then I'm like, I don't want to go with him. So I came back and I was like, I'm not going with that man. He was introducing me to 17 different types of women.
Oh.
So mad.
Yeah. But now going into the conversation we're gonna have today.
Yes.
I don't even know where should we even begin before we even, because I'm sure Luana, you didn't know anything about Stephen Johnson's syndrome.
Not a single thing, ma'am. Not a single.
So let's talk about, let's say, that week before it happened.
Okay. So I had my Stephen Johnson's. My Stephen Johnson's reaction was triggered by lamotrigine. So Stephen Johnson's is triggered. It's an infection, but it's triggered by something. So some like children usually get it because they get skin infection or pneumonia. It has some relation to pneumonia. I will not be going too deep into the science because I'm
still trying to figure out.
Catch it. But I'll explain it just how, from my perspective and what I've learned, because I have done a lot of research.
Or before you've learned. Yeah. I get it. Before you've learned, you didn't know anything about it. What was happening?
My life. Okay.
Your life, like just before it happened.
That's very important, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just turned 30. This is in 2024. Right. I turned 30 in 2024. And my life was just not going the way that I wanted it to be going.
Right.
You know, when you turn 30, man, it's a big age. There's a lot of things that you expect your life to, that you expect yourself to have achieved. You know, as a child, I thought when I was 30, I would be married. You know, I thought I would have I don't really even remember what I thought, but I thought, you know, things would look better.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And they did not.
Right.
I mean, there were things that were really good. You know, there was a lot of work that I had done that was amazing.
Yeah.
But I couldn't see that. I was stuck in a cycle where I was just focusing on the negative and then repeating the negative cycles because that's all I was focusing on. And we live in an era of information, and there's only so much information you can take before the information becomes a part of the procrastination. And then that just, it gets even, your own voice gets even more nagging because it's like, you know what to do, you know? For a while, I self-healed. I had been in therapy before I turned 30, and it was amazing. It really helped me identify my traumas, identify my triggers, and so I knew that I was a lot more self-aware.
Right.
But the awareness was not, for some reason, it wasn't helping me break out of the cycles. So I thought, you know, I also understand that therapy is a process. When you go to therapy, things will come up, but nothing comes up that you're not ready for. So I assumed that maybe the cycles, because when I went to therapy the first time, I even had memories come up. You know, old memories from childhood
that you forgot.
That I had suppressed.
Yeah, suppressed. Yeah.
Because apparently when you start going to therapy, the subconscious and the conscious starts having a conversation and it starts to come up.
Remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe I'm going to remember something else. You know, maybe something's going to... I spoke to my therapist ready to do the work. But also this wasn't my initial therapist. I chose a different therapist.
Gotcha.
I chose him because he was very good at helping you account. So I thought, I want to come out of the victimhood. The first therapy session was victimhood. This person did this. Now it's time for me to say, I am doing this. I need to break out of these cycles. So I call him up and I say, I'm not coping. And he says, you're struggling, or I'd seen him for like one session before. So I knew how he worked. That's why I went. I said, okay, this is the perfect one. And he said, okay, do you want me to have you admitted? And I said, yes, sir. He had me admitted into a mental health clinic. This is an option. People do need to know that you can have yourself admitted into a mental health clinic. You don't have to be admitted. If you're struggling, you can always have yourself admitted.
Yes.
So he had me admitted, and within the second day, so you get a psychologist and a psychiatrist. Within the second day, I was on medication. The first time I went to therapy, I wasn't medicated. This time, when I did start to sort of give them the breakdown of the things that I wanted to deal with, they advised that I be on medication because this isn't really something I want to raw dog. Those were her words. So I said, okay, cool. Give me the meds. I mean, if I need them, why not?
This is a psychiatrist.
Yes.
Got you.
Yes.
So you're still in the hospital?
Yes. So it's a 21-day program. Some people leave early, some people leave later, depending on how you do or whatnot. So later on in my stay there, I was on medication by the second day. But later on in my stay there, I got a type 2 chronic bipolar diagnosis, meaning that I had a chronic mood disorder. That was the diagnosis.
While you were in there.
While I was in there, yes. And which was different to my initial diagnosis. The first one was post-traumatic stress disorder, and this time I got a bipolar, because also I think, they expect that if you have a condition, like PTSD is not supposed to be a chronic disorder. It's just something after trauma.
After trauma, yes.
So now I'm back. So now I guess the assumption was, this is not the first time that you're here. So obviously this is a chronic illness, right? And while I am tried to be as very open about that diagnosis as possible, it seemed that the only way forward was just medication. So there was no accountability now at this point. There was no work on this. All I was told is that you need to keep a routine and you need to be on this medication for the rest of your life.
And I just want to understand, because we, like you're saying, we have this assumption that if you see a psychologist, obviously a psychologist, if it's really bad, they will transfer you to a psychiatrist if you need medication. Are they asking you for permission, or you have to be on it when you're inside?
So when you're inside, you have no choice. You need a therapist and a psychiatrist. You're assigned a therapist and a psychiatrist.
And they give you the pills, whether you like it or not.
They don't force you to take the pills.
Got you.
But there's also like an ego thing with doctors. If as the doctors, they feel like if they are prescribing something to you,
you have to.
If you don't want to take it, like the last time I was there was a lady who refused to take medication, and the doctor said she's not going to treat her. So I mean, it's also a doctor. If the doctor says I need pills, I'm going to take the pills. The doctor said I need pills, right? I mean, that's the assumption. We think doctors are like,
yeah, they heal us. They're going to heal us.
But also that diagnosis, and not to say that mental illness diagnoses are heartbreaking, but what was really disheartening about that, I felt really disheartened by that, because I came there to do the work, I came there to do the work. I even had myself discharged early because I was like, I'm on chronic medication now. Why am I still here, I remember the Monday that I was discharged, I was supposed to only go home on the Friday because they still wanted to write down more days of me just sitting down and them giving me pills the whole day. So I was like, I came here to do the work. We're not doing the work. You're giving me pills. Just give me the pills. Let me go home. I felt very broken by then. I remember leaving there feeling like, I guess this is how I'm always going to be. Because even the way that he gave me the diagnosis as well, and not to say that he's a bad therapist, I think he's an incredible therapist. What we also don't really understand, what I didn't understand rather about therapists, is that they're at work, so it's kind of their job to find a problem, and a lot of them are not healed in trauma, and they can't identify trauma. It's more of the symptoms. They deal with the symptoms. So if you have these symptoms, this is the condition that you have, and this is how we're going to treat you. It's not where did the condition come from. Let's heal the root of the condition. Because that's what I went there for. I didn't understand that that's not necessarily a part of the process. The first psychiatrist I got, that's exactly what we did. And I guess I was expecting the same framework, but I didn't understand that people have different frameworks.
Sure. So now you come out.
So on Monday.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks, exactly 2 weeks. Stephen Johnson's reaction starts exactly 2 weeks after you've started a new medication, if it's going to trigger that. So exactly 2 weeks, I've chosen to discharge myself now. On the Monday, I spent the weekend thinking about it. I say I'm going home. The psychiatrist increases my dosage to 75 milligrams from 50 of the Epitech. The medication that I've been put on. I'm on like 5 medications, but she increases just the one. And that's when I started getting sick. When I got home, I was sick. I started getting a fever, bad one. Like you could feel the heat coming from inside my body, like next to me. You didn't even have to touch my body to feel the heat.
Yeah.
Then the fever quickly turned to blisters and like mouth ulcers and ulcers in the eyes. I went to a doctor twice within, it was 3 days before I went to hospital. And I went to see a doctor twice in those 3 days. And he gave me a fever diagnosis and then a chickenpox diagnosis because I started forming hives on the second day. And then by the third day, it was so bad that I couldn't walk. I couldn't talk. The blisters were in my hands, in my eyes, in my face, everywhere. My skin was sloughing off. It really, really progresses quickly. And the worst part about it is that my psychiatrist, so Stevens-Johnson syndrome can happen with a lot of different medications. It's an autoimmune disease that you have to be born with a genetic mutation to have a Stevens-Johnson's reaction. So not everyone can have one. And there's no way of knowing until you have one. That's the messed up part, if you can have Stevens-Johnson's.
So I'm trying to understand better. So the Stevens-Johnson's is the reaction that you got, or we all have it, but it can be triggered by the medication?
So Stevens-Johnson's is a autoimmune disease that you have to have. So I have an autoimmune disease, Stevens-Johnson syndrome. So I have the genetic mutation to have a Stevens-Johnson's reaction.
Reaction.
Yes.
Okay.
So the medication is like a what do they call the spark? It's like the spark to the fire, right? So as soon as you add the medication, it can trigger the Stevens-Johnson syndrome. And as soon as it's triggered, your body attacks itself, basically. And how it does that is the two layers of skin separate, and they separate through like an acid, like like a yes, like water, a water burn.
Yeah.
But it starts small and then it just gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it starts on the inside. So it starts to burn like the throat,
man,
the respiratory system.
You can feel it burn.
You can feel it. You can literally feel yourself burning from the inside. It is the most painful thing. I have a lot of the memories my brain has blocked out from like the most painful days, especially when I was in hospital. But from the first few days, what I remember, horrible. Like you're burning alive. You're burning alive, literally. Your body's burning itself from the inside out.
Shaz. And then before you were admitted, what happens?
So
now you started, you go to the doctor.
Yeah.
One ordered fever, the other one diagnosis. What did they say? The other diagnosis was chickenpox.
Yes.
And then
I had started looking up Stevens-Johnson. So when I came back the second time with the chickenpox, I had a feeling. I looked it up and I saw it, but the pictures were of white people who had purple skin. So I assumed it can't be me.
It can't be.
I think I didn't want it to be me. And nobody had told me, because Stevens-Johnson's, in the medication I was taking, there's a black box warning that says that Stevens-Johnson's is a possible contraindication because it's been known.
Sure.
And nobody told me. So I didn't know that this was even possible. Fine, I didn't read, but I took the medication.
We all don't read.
I also didn't have the box in the hospital. I also didn't have the box in the hospital
when they were giving you the meds.
So I'm taking the medication while the reaction has started. I'm going to the doctor, I'm taking the medication. And then the second time I bring the medication, I said, I looked up Stevens-Johnson syndrome. Do you think it could be it? This is the medication that I'm on. He didn't take the box one. He also really let me down, because this was the second time I was coming back to him. He is my GP. Now I've gone and brought the medication and asked him, could this not be Stevens-Johnson syndrome? Something so serious. And instead of at least looking at what's in my bag, he says, if it gets worse, call an ambulance. And like now, Stevens-Johnson is also so rare. Most people have never dealt with it. Like I've been in hospitals now where when I tell nurses I have Stevens-Johnson syndrome, they have no idea what it is. They'll say something vague, like they've heard about it, but it's I think it's a 1 in a million. It's a very rare condition, and there's no way of knowing until you've had a reaction. When you've had a reaction, okay, so let me go on with the story. So I now wake up on the third day. I put my feet on the ground. There's blisters on my feet. I try to crawl. There's blisters on my hands. I try to go eat. There's blisters in my mouth. I try to call. I can't talk because the blisters are in my throat now. Call an ambulance. So I managed to tell an ambulance where I am and whatever. I go. And now the scariest thing is I know it's caused by medication. And at this point now, I have all the symptoms. All the symptoms that I had read, they are all there. So now I'm scared. I know I have a Stevens-Johnson syndrome. And now I'm scared to be medicated as well, because I'm like, what if it gets worse? And I don't know. I'm taking like 7 different medications. I don't know which one is causing it. I get to the hospital. I'm carrying the medication now in my hand, in the bed, in my hand. I'm like, I have Stevens-Johnson syndrome. This is the medication that I'm on. And now everybody's scared to treat me. And now also get this, the same doctor that's been mistreating me for the past 2 days, his son is now my doctor in the ambulance, in the new hospital.
Oh, Lord.
It was such a roller coaster, girl. And then I get there and they can't treat me. My mom realized very early that this is not the one. So she, by the grace of God, I am here because of my mom. I always have to say this. Like, I always tell the story because, I mean, I was the one experiencing it. But even most of the hardships of this, like, who really carried the weight of all of this? That's my mom. Like, when they talk about Mbogotos, my mom. So she realized that, like, this place doesn't have the capacity to treat my daughter. And she really fought to get me moved. And they refused. She ended up having to pay cash for the ambulance to take me to the other side of KZN. But she did. And in the new hospital, I was admitted by the grace of God, because that hospital wasn't even supposed to take me. It's a really amazing hospital, and they don't take cases that, especially one, they had already started operating on me. They had operated on me and done some weird operation and wrapped me up in plastic in my face and in my body, in like plastic. So they were not really supposed to take that case. The chances of me surviving were already low at that point. But by the grace of God, like, I talk to them now and they say, like, we don't even know why we took your case, because, like, who would take a case where you know that you are prone to fail, you know? We are known to be doctors that can do amazing things. But, like, that case seemed like we were not going to be able to do that. So for some reason, like, they said they argued about it. The one was like, no, and the one was like, yes. So eventually the one that said yes won. And I was put in a coma as soon as the second day. So when I arrived in this new hospital, by the second day, I was induced into a coma. It was supposed to be a couple of days. It ended up being 6.5 weeks.
Of being in a coma?
Yes.
Sure.
I slept for 6.5 weeks. I also woke up thinking, like, oh, it's been a weekend. I was so confused waking up because my dreams had been so vivid that I thought everything that I had dreamt had happened.
It's been happening.
So when I woke up and saw a nurse, I thought I saw an angel. I thought I was dead finally at that point. At that point, the dreams were so daunting that I was like, oh, okay, I'm dead. Thank God. And the nurse turned around and looked at me. It was the first day because I was burning from the inside and my eyes were closed because I was in a coma. When they woke me up, my eyes didn't open because they're sort of like, you know, when skin grafts together and heals, like plastic burns together. It heals and it gets stuck. That's what happened to my eyes. So they woke me up and they had hoped that my eyes would open. Most people's eyes open because they had like these things to sort of hold my eyes open, but my eyes had healed shut. So I was awake, but like with my eyes closed. And now my dreams seem like people were talking. My brain found like images to try and explain what was happening.
What was happening?
And then eventually one day I just got up and my eyes opened and apparently I sat up, and that's why she asked me. As soon as she saw me and I saw her, she turned around and she looked at me and she said, has your mom seen you? And I was like, oh, my mom, okay, I'm alive then. Because my mom was also even in my dreams just like light. Whenever I was going through the worst things in those dreams, she would come in and just call me. Like, I remember the one time I was laying in a bed in the dream. I was always sick in my dreams. Like, somehow my subconscious found a way to explain everything as like, this is what's going on. So I knew I was sick when I woke up, and I knew that I had like a skin condition. I didn't know it was this bad. But
And you haven't looked at yourself in the mirror or anything like that? You don't remember how you look like?
I don't even remember what happened before I got into this coma. So yeah, I wake up and she sees me. She's like, your mom. I'm like, oh, okay, my mom's still alive. I mean, I'm still alive because my mom feels, I don't know why. I think she was just like live for me, as she is in real life, actually. And yeah, I woke up and I remember drips and drabs of that. So my one eye somehow eventually opened. That's when I saw the nurse. And then like I would forget. I was delirious, okay? I had my hands tied to the bed because I was still having they're called coma nightmares. And they're very scary and they're very vivid because it's also like, it's the dark night of the soul. Like when you go into a coma, your soul leaves the body, because now all the bodily functions have stopped. And so you start reliving your life. And you get a chance to see what the effects of the things that you did to people were like, and you feel them.
You do?
You feel them. I don't know if it happens. It's very different experiences for everyone. You get what you need. You get what you need. A lot of your beliefs are reaffirmed, a lot of your experiences, because it's also the subconscious's way of explaining things to you in a way that makes sense to you according to your life's experiences. So a lot of things that I thought I was cheated on, or people who I thought didn't show up for me, a lot of egocentric things that I had
Because you're
thought.
human.
Because I'm human. I mean, that's what we do.
Yeah.
The brain is designed to protect us. So we always think about ourselves. And those coma dreams are always just showing me a perspective that was different to the one that I thought, I got to see things. A lot of the things that happen, we remember according to how they made us feel instead of the reality of how they happened.
True.
There are things that sometimes, and you really live those feelings to the point where you literally start to reimagine the situation in a completely different way. You can't even remember the reality of how it happened. So there were entire relationships that, for me, I had seen that light that I was now being shown in a different light. There was, I think I saw different lives where my brother was my father and I was my mother's mom. Apparently that's a thing as well. Like with our soul group from our families, I've done a lot of research about because I was very confused about those dreams.
Yeah.
And a lot of people told me there's a lot of gifts for me in those dreams. So yeah. Let me not go into that whole coma thing.
The coma thing. It's quite.
It's a big one. It's very layered.
Because we unless if you experience it, we see it in movies where when somebody goes into a coma, there's an entire thing that happens.
It's a fiasco. That's all
So it's amazing to sit across somebody who was in a coma for 6 weeks.
Girl.
And you remember the dreams.
Yeah. No, I remember them. They were very, very vivid. They were very, very painful as well. Because the body also tries to make sense of the pain that your body's going through. So sometimes I'd experience really something really painful in my dream. Like my ear here, they had to cut a piece of my ear for the biopsy, because that's how they find what's wrong with you with the Stephen Johnson. They have to take pieces of your skin and take tests until they can figure out which one of the medications was causing the reaction. I don't know how the science of that works, but they had to cut quite a bit here. And in the dream, some old man was cutting my ear, and so it's things like that. Sometimes the anesthesia sort of wears off, and your brain finds a way to explain what's going on.
What's this pain?
At some point, I stopped breathing. Like in real life, and in the dream, I had walked into a room and I got such a fright that I stopped breathing for a while and I couldn't breathe again in the dream.
Oh, Shaz.
Yeah, it was quite wild.
Shaz. Wow.
It be like that.
Yeah.
Life is wild.
Life is something else.
Life can get so wild so quickly.
Yeah.
So quickly.
Yeah.
That's what I couldn't believe more than anything. I couldn't believe how quickly my life had completely changed. I suddenly realized how entitled I had been all of this time to expect things, to the point where I ended up getting depressive, I multiplied my misery, to be very honest with you. And I've had a lot of time to review how I ended up there. And something I recently shared also online, and what I felt was such beautiful alignment with Mommy Diaries, is that when I was 20, I had a child, and he passed just a trauma dump. Not really. It's not, because it's something that I can talk about now, that I haven't talked about for 12 years. And a lot of the suffering that I was going through was because I felt I was subconsciously punishing myself for not being able to save my son's life. As mothers, and especially I understood this a lot more with experiencing my own mother's love. My mother was by my hospital bed every single day that I was in hospital, whether I was asleep or not. The nurses were saying to me after I woke up that we just wish that you wouldn't die when we were there, because we were so scared for what would happen to your mother. So I understand, I felt a mother's love when I had my son more than anything. And it's the most beautiful, blissful thing ever. And when he passed, I chose to take that wound and to keep it forever, because I felt like I deserved to feel that forever. It didn't feel like something that needed to go away anytime soon. My mom offered therapy and I said no. But I didn't realize that I was subconsciously punishing myself. And the thing that we do also is that, the way nature is set up is that your thoughts will drive you towards the same patterns, especially if they're subconscious. Because emotions are energy in motion, and they can't be blocked. They can't be destroyed. You have to let them express themselves.
Yeah.
And when you don't, they are the most dangerous thing ever, because now they're subconsciously leading you to behaviors, patterns, things that you can't explain. Like the reason I ended up with a bipolar diagnosis diagnosis, because now my diagnosis is completely different.
Yeah.
Was also because I was reaffirming misery every day. I was looking for horrible things because I wanted to punish myself. Like, I was subconsciously looking for situations that would make me feel more shame, would make me feel more guilt, you know. And that's how massive also a mother's love is that, like, as a mother, I feel like there's nothing you love. My mother, my brother and I are my mother's entire world, you know.
Yeah.
My mother right now doesn't work, doesn't have much of anything because she gave it up for us at our big age. I got sick the one year, the following year, my brother got cancer, and my mom gave everything up for us, you know. So understanding that also made me realize that that's where my misery started to multiply. It was 12 years ago where my life started. That's when I started spiraling.
Oh. Shaz. And how's your mom now?
Oh, she's so much better. She's so much better. My mom's a very strong woman. She's a very, very strong woman, almost to a fault. She's the best mother in the world that I've ever seen in my life. But she's also not just an amazing mother, she's also an amazing human being. I realized, like, it's to a fault.
Yeah.
It's to a fault because my mom will give herself for everybody else. You know, it's not just her children. I mean, it's just worse because it's her children. Someone with that much love, it's only going to get worse. But I've learned so much from my mother's selflessness. And by that, I mean, like, I've learned to have boundaries.
Yeah.
There was a point where all I had was boundaries because I didn't want to be like my mother. And by that, I mean, like, not because I just felt like people, you know, people
all over
people
her.
walk all over you. People abuse kindness.
Yeah.
But it's also something, like, the more I've observed her, especially now in the time that we've been, like, together so much, is that I've realized that she's just genuinely, I think she genuinely is just, she's given her life to be good. You know, there's people that understand that they're here to serve the collective. And she's that person. Like, she's someone that I thought it was subconscious. I thought she wasn't aware that she's giving herself. But she's doing it consciously. Like, I don't think she knows how to be anybody else. I don't think she knows anything else, rather. And I think our fight is always that she's so good that she expects everybody else to be
like
good.
her.
You know? And I'm like, no, lady. Like,
Yeah.
I see you and I love what you do.
Yeah.
But I'm not an angel yet. Like, give me time. But yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah. And how did you deal with the loss of your son?
At the time, I mean, I cried a lot. I absolutely cried an awful lot. And I thought that was enough. I really thought, I remember when I did have conversations with, like, people, very few people even knew this about me, to be very honest. Like, I think 10 at the most. Or people who, anybody else who knows that I don't know personally might have found out from somebody else. Maybe if they were there during the time and I was pregnant,
were you
then I was
private
not.
with your pregnancy?
Not necessarily with my pregnancy. But I mean, I've always had, like, a very close group of people. I mean, the people that know might have been someone who heard, you know.
Yeah.
But I just mean anybody that I've met since then. It's not something I'm like, you know, I never used to talk about it.
Yeah.
And I was also told that, like, I was also, you know, I was very lost at the time. And when he did pass, I really didn't understand. I couldn't believe it. Like, I could not believe it. And, like, I was looking for advice, you know, the people come with advice as well. So whenever somebody would come and, you know, say something to me, I would listen. And I just kept getting, like, you know, you're so young, just move on with your life and whatnot. So at some points I felt like maybe then I need to just forget about this, you know. So I did choose to suppress it somehow. Not suppress it, but just to put it away, you know.
Yeah.
When I cried about it an awful lot, but on my own. It was never expressed as fully at all. Actually, when I started, so how I got to this, I went on a 10-day meditation, a silent retreat, for my birthday this year. Because every year something needs to happen. And you sit there in silence for 10 days. And they teach you a meditation technique where you witness your thoughts. You're able to witness your thoughts long enough to identify the patterns of your mind. So that's when you get to catch, when did you decide that certain things were...
Yes.
It's amazing. It's
10
really
days
amazing.
without talking
Talking to nobody. So no phone.
I would scream.
I thought I would scream. I wanted to scream. There were some points I closed myself in the bathroom and I sang a little bit.
You can't even say hi.
There's a teacher that you can talk to when it's time to ask questions. And it's only about the meditation. There's no phones. There's no book. There's no any type of... Because it's also... The whole point is for you to to be here.
10 days.
Nothing
Shaz.
new must come in. 10 days. I thought I wasn't going to make it either. I thought I was not going to make it. Literally, you're alone in the room. And I didn't know how it would work. Like, how would people communicate? How would we
Yes.
eat? Because they also serve us food.
Right.
It's just silent. Like, there's no talk. There was not even barking. It was just silence on the mountain in Worcester.
Oh, no. I would lose my mind.
People do lose their minds. It's a very,
Yeah.
there's a lot of tests and screening
10
that they
days
do
is a long time.
to check if you're not going to lose it. Because some people have died doing that meditation.
From you.
Because think about our own thoughts. We are so afraid of our own thoughts. All you want to do is just keep thinking. We're so addicted to thinking all the time.
God, yes.
Because have you ever tried to sit down and to meditate?
And I don't know how to meditate.
But people always think that meditation is about sitting in silence and your mind must be silent. It's not that, actually.
What is it
And
then?
for a long time, I also
Because
thought that.
I thought maybe you have to still your mind.
No.
And then I'll try sit and then I'll think of like food or what I'm, like I'll think of silly things. Again, I'm trying to block my mind from not thinking. And then I'm like, I'm thinking about what I'm going to do after meditating. So the mind is working.
The mind will never stop working. It doesn't stop. The whole point of meditation is to slow down your thoughts.
Right.
Slow them enough for you to witness them. Because our conscious is the one that witnesses the thought.
Right.
Your brain's job is to protect you, to be egocentric and think about the world and to think all the time. When you start breathing, the breathing is not to silence your mind. It's to slow down your mind.
Okay.
And when you witness your breath, you start to witness your thoughts as well. So the breath work is just an entry into slowing down your mind.
Right.
Then you're just supposed to sit with your thoughts.
Sit with them.
What actually stops people from meditating is that they're avoiding their own thoughts. Because we don't hear our own thoughts. Most of the time we don't.
Yeah.
They're just going. So meditation slows them down. And then once they're slow, you're able to witness them. They're not nice. They aren't nice. Our own thoughts are not. We are not nice to ourselves at all.
Yeah.
So meditation was such a huge part for me because not only did I understand how I got where I was, I understood finally the symptoms. And as soon as you understand symptoms, then you can say, what can I do with this? Right. Because the thing, what I was doing with punishing myself as well, is that my brain had been wiring itself for 10 years to identify things that are self-destructive and to be blind of anything that is good for me.
Right.
So now I need to rewire that. I meditate for 2 hours a day now because I need to be present in my thoughts the whole day, because I need to catch myself going, catching myself being scared, catching myself thinking I shouldn't do that. I needed to, because what you can also start doing with meditation is that you have a relationship with your thoughts. You have a relationship with your feelings. Right. You have a thought come up and then you catch it. You hear yourself thinking, I'm too stupid for that. Then you catch yourself because now you're witnessing your thoughts.
You're witnessing.
Yes. Yeah. And then you catch yourself going, I'm so stupid. Then you go, I'm so sorry. I even kiss myself on the hand sometimes. I'm so sorry I said that to you, baby. Then I'm like, you're not stupid. You are so smart. So that repetition changes your wiring, because that's the only way we change things. It took us so long to get here. It took me so long to get here. Yeah. It's going to take a while to get anywhere else. Yeah.
Now we're going back to, now you're at the hospital. Yeah. You're out of the coma.
Yes.
The eyes are opening.
Yeah. The one eye opens.
The one eye opens. Do you remember the first thought that came to your mind after you remember what's been happening? And how was your reaction to looking and seeing yourself for the first time after the coma?
So for a couple of days, I was just delirious. Like I couldn't talk because I had a tracheostomy. Yeah. So when you have a tracheostomy, it can't come out. So I kept trying to communicate with my hands, but I couldn't move. All the muscle in my body had died down. So I learned from this experience that what you don't use, you lose. Like my hands, I was laying like this. I couldn't move my hands. All the muscle in my body had died down. I had lost 30 kgs. So I'm trying to communicate now with sign language because I can't speak, but I can't move either. Like, what happened? Because I can't remember. So they told my mom to just keep reminding me. Every time I look confused, she would remind me, you've had a reaction, blah, blah, blah. It took them. So all I could see was this for a while. And I thought this is the patchiness of my skin looked something like this.
Okay.
But my face was mostly this when I did see it. So I kept looking at this and I said to my mom, I want to see my face and everything. She was like, no. And I was like, why not? And then I started freaking out because I'm like, why wouldn't they let me see my face, And then the one nurse gave me her phone to play music because I still couldn't speak, so she was just trying to entertain me. Then I saw like a little bit of my face. I saw white. And I'm like, what the hell? Then I started to, so my heart rate was very dangerous at the time. It was always going very up and very low. So the machine started going off, and then she realized, like, I saw my face. So she starts panicking because the biggest side effect, the mental side effect, or the worst type of PTSD for most Stephen Johnson survivors. Because, I mean, it's brutal. Like, it tears your skin down. It tears your nails off. It tears your hair off. So they were very like scared about me seeing myself. As much as I was very waking up, everybody that came in was like, oh my God, because the situation was so bad. I was wrapped up like a mummy. Like, I didn't have skin from all the way on my face, nothing. So people that had seen me during the worst parts were coming in and going, oh my God, God has been so good. So I'm like, oh snap, okay, so this, like, I must be doing really well then, So before my mom showed me my face, she showed me pictures of what I looked like before. So she showed me how bad, like, the Stephen Johnson was. She showed me pictures of me wrapped up like a mummy. She showed me pictures of me when they had started to take off the bandages. So I saw like my face with no skin, like just raw burns. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, what does my face look like? Then my heart rate. So every time they would start, it took about 3 weeks for them to show me my face. Because every time the conversation would start, I would panic.
Yeah.
And that was the reason they didn't show me. So then the one day I started to have an idea. The one thing about me, I can start preparing myself. When I know something really, I start to prepare myself. So one day I was like, I'm ready to see my face. She's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah. My mom was very supportive. Like, and my mom would sit and think about, what do I need right now? Like, what I think the biggest part of healing is support. Obviously, especially when you can't do anything, it's very important who's there and how they're treating you and how they're making you feel, how that's making you feel. You need someone who's going to look at you. My mom would come in and tell me, oh my God, you look so beautiful. What do you mean? Like, where? But she would, and it would be random and it would be so sincere. So, and I did eventually see my face. I saw it and I was like, that's when I sort of went from the blissful, what a pleasure it is to be alive. Because my heart was also so open when I woke up. I felt like a baby. I was crying all the time just from joy. And I saw my face and I was like, oh, wow, okay. The craziest thing is that I didn't realize this eye was stuck shut. So I saw my face and I saw, my face is like this all over. It was swollen. I had no eyebrows and no lashes. And now my eye is closed. This one is like this big. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what are we doing? Like, send me back. I'm not doing this. Like, that was the thought. And I got very sick after seeing my face that week because it just goes to show, like, our emotions really condition our bodies.
They do.
They really, really do. They like, it's the biggest thing ever. It's underrated how much of an effect our emotions have on our bodies. Because when I saw that, I got sick and my heart rate was always going up and down. But also my mom, because she was there and me being sick made her so stressed. Like, I could see the difference. When I woke up, she had lost so much weight. She had even gotten darker. Makes me so sad.
So sorry.
But I don't have tears, so don't worry. It's just going to be around. My eyes don't produce tears, literally.
Really?
Yeah, so when I cry.
You cry, like, so, but you like, feel the.
Yeah, and you can tell I'm crying. Like, you can tell, like, she's crying, but there's no tears. So my makeup's always safe.
Oh, man.
So I could tell, like, besides the fact that this had been so stressful for her, now me being sick as well is stressful. So I chose to get better. I was literally like, you know what? Like, fine, this is horrible. Yeah. And when I woke up, I also wasn't in pain. I still had like some bandages here because we're still waiting for skin to grow back here. But I wasn't in any pain, And once I had seen the pictures, I had thought, like, and they told me mom was here every day. I was like, my mom was here every day. Like, she was sitting here, I saw the pictures. Sometimes I was like this big, Sometimes I take the bandages off. There's no tissue. There's no need for tissue.
Yeah, it's for me.
Oh, is it for you?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. You're a mom. You get it.
Yeah, I'm a mom. I get it.
Yeah.
And I have a mom. So
you have a mom.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I thought about that. I had to think about what she had already gone through, And she's and she had gone through it. She went through it with the greatest like grace, you know. They said that the one day they came in and I had less than 5% chance of survival. And they told her, like, please prepare for the worst, you know. We've done everything we could. We've never dealt with a case this severe. She keeps getting worse. Please prepare for the worst. Call people that she needs that need to say goodbye. Also, because I was in an isolated room, so people could only see me like in the window, like that. Because when you have Steven Johnson's, it's like a 3rd-degree burn, so they keep you in isolation. I lost my biggest organ in my body, so an infection was going to kill me. They were literally waiting for me to get an infection and go septic and die. And my mom, they literally said she calmly told them to never say that again because she has spoken to the Lord and her daughter's going to live. Yeah. She said, carry on doing your job. Do what you're being paid to do. I am still here. She's still here. She's still breathing. She's going to be fine. And I was fine. Literally 1 week later, I miraculously got better. 1 week later, I just suddenly just started getting better. Till this day, when I woke up, my doctors say this is a miracle. We don't know what happened. We at this point, they actually wanted to do a case study because they wanted to figure out how they did it, you know, because they don't know who did it. They said, are you a believer? Because if you're not, then you need to be a believer today. Yeah. And I wasn't before this. Yeah. I was raised Christian, but I had really gone to the dark. Like, so as soon as I woke up though, nobody needed to explain anything. It was just a no-brainer. I can't even explain it to you in words. I just knew it was God. Like, before I could even talk, before everybody said it's a miracle, I just knew from the dreams that I had been having and those experiences.
That there is God.
That the fact that I was alive was God.
Yeah.
I thought I was dead myself, you know? So yeah, like I realized that my mom had done so much work. Like I took my strength from my mother. I said, all I need to do right now is to just breathe, stay alive, you know? Everything else is taken care of. I have an amazing team. I have my mom, I have my friends, I have my family. I just have to keep breathing. I realized I wasn't in any pain. I could still see, so I wasn't disabled. I started learning how to walk, and I realized the more that I moved, the better I started to feel, so I moved a lot more. Yeah. I started to eat. I couldn't eat. I had to learn how to eat because I had blisters in my mouth and in my throat. So the same way I have like thick scarring here, I have thick scarring inside because the only thing that was keeping my throat alive was a tiny little NGT pipe. Yeah. So eating was very, very difficult. It was painful. My throat was this big. And it still had like scarring, it was still healing. It took me a year to be able to eat normal food. But I did. I did. I made a decision. I made a decision that I was going to do whatever I can, what was in my control to keep moving forward. And the more I did it, the better I got. So I did more. Yeah. Yeah.
And I can tell how it didn't go through your legs.
No, it didn't.
It just ended here, up here.
It just ended like right here. Right here.
Where is that doctor that that prescribed you medication for your bipolar? Where is this person?
So
because there's a reason why we're here.
No, definitely.
You know what I mean? If they not giving you those pills, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Yes, ma'am.
Where are they?
They are working. They're working. So I emailed the hospital that I was in a couple of times. They ignored me for a good while. I emailed them. I told them what happened, send them pictures, everything. It took me, I only started sending it to them in January because I was just giving myself time to heal, you know? That was where my energy was going. So I sent them an email telling them what happened. The one thing I wanted to do more than anything was just for them to know. I sent them long before, so them to know that the things that you're doing are messing up people's lives. At that time, I didn't necessarily want anyone to account. I think subconsciously at that time felt like a part of why I feel like I was partly okay with this so much is that I felt like I deserved it, to be honest with you. Like I was like, even in my coma dreams, I was being punished in the dreams. And not because I felt like I was a horrible person, but remember, I'm supposed to consciously punishing myself for my son's death. So now finally this happens, I'm like, oh, okay. Even in my dreams, I was being punished. Like I was being punished and it was like a conversation that I'm being punished.
So do you think it's true when they say that like when you're about to die or when you're dead, I don't know if you've heard about that, where it's like not God himself, but it's
Yeah.
like a movie plays.
Yes.
Did it feel like that? A movie playing of your life or your past life or the things that you did?
Yes.
Like you said, the things that you did to people, because we're not perfect.
Yeah, no.
We've hurt people along the way.
Bunch of times.
We've hurt ourselves along the way. We've made choices that are really bad and that went through other people. So do you think is that kind of a situation where it almost feels like a movie of your life was played when you were in that coma?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's definitely what it was. And the only difference is that you're not watching the movie, you're feeling it. So you're also even feeling like the bad things that you've done to other people, you feel how they felt. The good things that you've done to people, you also feel. There's also some good ones. But see, the thing is, the worse your behavior has been, the longer the bad movie's going to play. Because how they explain it is also it's separated exactly. Look, so the proportion of good that you did. So let's say you did like a 1:5. So for every one movie of goodness, you're gonna get 5 bad ones after that, and they hurt. Like I was like, there were dreams. I was like, oh, change the movie, and it would switch. That's why I thought when I was waking up, it was just switching to another dream because things would get so awful in that one dream. Then it would switch, and it would be like things are starting off slowly, and then it would start again. So yeah, it definitely was a movie that was being played, but I was in the movie.
You were in the movie. You were the lead.
And a very cool thing that I got to experience, and which was like closure, but I don't think closure is a real word. But for me and my father, remember I told you my father and I had a very complicated relationship. But my father had a complicated relationship with all of his children. So I'm going to say he's a complicated man because he's the only common denominator in all of this, right? And I spent a lot of time, my father's late. I spent a lot of time with my father in my coma dreams. And I got to, now that, like, you know, I've spoken to people who are more inclined and enlightened with like dreams and stuff. And they basically explain that part of the reason why I saw my father so much is also because I gave my father like this God complex position in my life. Also because 1, he's my father. 2, because I didn't have access to him. 3, because he used to come in and out of my life. So that whole anxiety thing, you know, he's my father, he's coming. Even after my dad died, I had my first mental breakdown after my dad died. So, I mean, I do believe as human beings, we need a mother and a father. Yes, I had amazing men who were around in my life, my uncles, who did a great job, but I wanted my father, you know? So one of the things I explained is that I had a God complex about my father, because even in situations where I'd need saving, my dad would come into those situations. But a nice thing about these dreams is that I got to experience him as a human being. Like, instead of looking at him as my father, someone who didn't show up for me, I got to spend time with him in his childhood. I saw people from like his lineage, and I just saw how he was feeling and why he wasn't able to show up for me in the ways that I wish he would. Because the reality is that the reason why our relationship was complicated is because I wanted him to behave a certain way and he didn't. That was the complication. Fine, as a father, there is a curriculum that he was not playing games with, that I wished he would really, really. But I also understood why, I understood what his foundation, was. And I understood that he was doing the best he could with what he had and with what he knew.
And he was just a human being after all.
Just a human being.
Who just made bad choices, and it happens to a lot of us.
It happens to a lot of us.
Yeah.
It happens to a lot of us.
Yeah.
So it was beautiful that I got that.
Yeah. And then how did you fully get to the point where you've accepted that you're out of the hospital?
Mm-hmm.
Now that you see yourself.
Yeah.
Now you're facing yourself.
Yeah.
It's like when I take off my makeup.
Yeah.
When I get home, I'm facing me.
I know the vibes.
You know the vibes. Like, you're taking off your makeup and you're facing.
Like, whoa.
Yeah. Oh, hey.
Oh, okay.
All right. Hello.
All right.
With everything. Like,
with everything.
Yeah. Like you're facing yourself and you're looking at yourself. How was that feeling? And when did you accept that this is my new reality? This is Shaz, and I'm gonna be like this.
This is who Shaz is now.
Yeah.
I think it's something that I'm still accepting every day. It's something that I have to work on every day, it went from initially I couldn't look at myself. And I did the work. I did the work, and I still do the work every day. I feel like we think that, healing is something that we just do and it's done.
And then,
Then we move
it
on.
happens every day.
Things change us.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's something this big, it becomes a lot clearer that everything that we experience changes us in some way. And that's okay. That's the only change in life anyways, change. And I'm glad that I understood that. And the one thing I'm always glad for is that God's miracle starts working long before it does. And I was in therapy before this happened. So I had the tools also for a lot of this, Psychology is important. Therapy is important because it's psychology. And it's very important for us to understand how our minds work, because that's how we get to treat the symptoms.
Yeah.
So I understood that I was someone who really I understood that I could regulate my nervous system, and a lot of it was exposure. So right now, I'm very triggered by the way that my face looks. I was triggered by a lot of things, but that was the biggest one. My eyes, my vision, and my face. Just the changes, the physical changes, basically. So I made an active choice to look. So for the first month, I would spend at least 1 minute looking. Just look at myself in the mirror, and I would cry, and I would, because it's very important for us in order to get past something. I always say, to get past something, you need to go through it. There's no bypassing.
You have to face it.
I realize if I want to love and accept and love myself in my core, I needed to accept myself. And the only way for me to accept myself is for me to see myself, So I looked and I cried and I cried. I would have days where I cried the whole day. Like my mom would just come in and she would just hug me. She'd say, "Do you need me to be here?" And I'd be like, "No, I need this one on my own," or whatever, And then so I went out of hospital in October. I was in hospital for 3 months. Then in January, in the 1st of January, I went outside. There was a great big wind. It was before I got my contacts, and I just had surgery to have this eye opened. And there was a great big wind, and I went blind. I just went blind. 2 months out of hospital, I went blind. It didn't happen instantly as well. I had 6 drops, eye drops. And I didn't know which one did what. And I just had surgery. I went outside. People were outside. I just want to step outside a little bit as well. Ooh, I went blind. So the first day I started getting blurrier. Then all of a sudden I was bumping into things. Then I couldn't move. Like if I would get up, I wouldn't see things. That time my doctors are closed. My doctors are on holiday. My ophthalmologist and surgeon is the only one who's dealt with Stephen Johnson. Also, you need such specific specialists for everything, and everything that goes wrong when you go to the doctor, they're like, "We don't really know why this happened. Why is your body?" Because the Stephen Johnson's reaction is so unpredictable. It just does, and
Whatever,
anything can perpetuate it. So what had happened was, when I'd gone outside, I had used an eye drop that's a steroid, and it had perpetuated the growth of the tissue, and I grew a whole skin tissue on top of it. So now I had, how I have this color here?
Yeah.
When I went blind, this one was starting to look like that eye. It just suddenly started growing. It's tissue that's on top of this eye. So tissue started growing on this eye in days. And the doctors were just like, "We don't know. I think maybe the steroid," because they also never know how your body's going to react. They're not there with you every day, and now you don't understand how these things work. So that was the point where I realized I need to understand my own body. I need to understand what these medications do and when to take them. Because apparently, had I taken the hydrating job, it would have hydrated the dryness. But I didn't know which one did what.
And
I just knew that one was stronger.
Do you think the wind did something? The wind?
It was definitely the wind, because the wind dried my eyes. So you know how you have that shiny part of your eye that where tears come out, if there's wind, tears will come out. I don't have that. And my tear ducts were grafted shut, because remember, it was burning. So skin moved and closed the hole for the tear ducts. And this whole thing is burnt. I had the hives were in my eyes as well. So I don't have a mucosal membrane layer. It burnt. So I wear contacts called scleral lens proscleral lens devices, which are scleral lenses, hard covers that cover your whole eye. So I put eye drops inside them and saline and a bunch of stuff, and then I wear them. So they provide hydration for my eyes, so it's not terribly uncomfortable, but it doesn't do very much for the vision, because the tissue that's there is scar tissue. So it serves as a lace curtain that I look at the world through. So this one is almost completely blind. I can see movement and I can put my contacts on, but I don't see very much, because the lace curtain is thicker on the side. And then this side it has gotten a lot better as well, because the saline solution that I put the eye in gives the eye it's like the doctor explained it as like, you know how bio oil can make scars a bit thinner over time? That's what it does. So that's how this vision's improved over time. And it does improve with time.
And then how far can you
See.
Yeah.
Some days are better than others.
Yeah.
Like I can eat something and I can get inflammation and be like, can't go outside the following day. Some days I'm like, oh, I have clear vision. But most days, like I can see your silhouettes. And because I've seen what your face looks like up close, I can tell what your face looks like. But if I didn't know you, I wouldn't know what your face looked like. But I could see your silhouettes. I can see like, colors I see very well. It's just blurry. It's very, very blurry. And some days it's a lot blurrier than others. When I have my contacts, when I don't have them on, I can't do much unless I'm in a place that I know. What I can do now is that I can memorize places. So like I can walk, like if I need to walk there and I don't have my contacts on, I'll be able to walk there because I've already been here. Yeah. Why are you crying now? I'm sorry. It's okay. Don't cry. Do you want me to give you a hug? I think I need to give you a hug. So it's a very sad story.
Yes.
But be okay now. I promise. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry.
Now I'm gonna start crying.
I'm sorry. I just
Don't be sorry. Don't be
I
sorry.
can, like, as you are talking and it's just like
it's overwhelming. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's like a reminder of things that we take for granted.
It is. It is. That was my biggest thing. I kept going, oh my God, like I have taken so much for granted. Because we think it's just supposed to be happening. Like we're just like, we're entitled to having good vision. We're entitled to having a nice, comfortable life. And I think that's also like part of, purpose at the moment is just remind ourselves that everything is a blessing. It's all grace. All of it.
Everything. Everything.
We're very blessed though. There's always something to be grateful for as well. Like that's my biggest lesson is that like I had to find things to be grateful for as well. I realized that things are so bad right now. I had to find something to be grateful for. And there was actually so many. The nice thing about where your attention goes, energy flows, is that as soon as you start choosing to focus on those things, you see them. Like I started to see so many wonderful things. And that made me, it gave me, a reason to wake up and follow every day, And like the one thing about exercise and just like choosing to look after myself, that saved me. That saved me. And it also made me feel like, at least, because before I had Stephen Johnson syndrome, that was like my main thing. I was like exercising. I was really a more beauty on the outside type of girl. I don't want to lie. The one thing about this experience is that it's really just, it's really made me whole. In so many ways.
And also just to cut you,
No problem.
like how ironic it is that you were a beautician or you are a beautician and this had to happen.
Exactly this. Like that was my biggest like, whoa, what am I going to do now? Okay, so I don't have a job anymore then, I guess. Like that was my first thought. Okay, no job. No boyfriend. Okay. Okay, what next? What else? Like what are we going to do here in this life? So I really had to, a lot of the time I thought I was doing the work to heal physically. And it was to heal physically. But what I realized is that I finally had time to heal emotionally as well. And while I was doing the work to heal, I was changing as well. Because the person that I was, and I mean not to put any shade, she brought us here, It's not the person that I am at all anymore. I didn't have the discipline. I didn't have the self-love. I didn't have the empathy. I didn't have the patience. I didn't have so many amazing qualities that this experience has gifted me with, So not to glorify the struggle, but also to glorify the struggle because what do? We're here. So let's make the most of it. And part of embracing is not as cute as people, we always assume, and I'm one of these people that thought embracing just meant like, you're like, oh, I'm embracing. There's a lot of pain and suffering and hard work in embracing because it took me, like, part of why it was so hard also for me to be around people. I had a very hard time being around people because I hadn't accepted myself. And a lot of the things that you haven't dealt with internally, you will always project onto other people because it's you're not looking at it. It's there in your subconscious. So it's expressing itself in somebody else.
Yeah.
So when people would come and see me, it would break my heart. Like the disgust and that I felt for myself, I would see in their faces. And honestly, sometimes it was somebody who was just, really concerned that this has happened to me. They're just heartbroken for me, as I am for myself. But because I was still going through all that, and I would see someone look at me, it would reaffirm that. So I stopped seeing people. And what I wanted to tell you about when I lost my vision is that I always go back to that verse, and I don't know the words, but it's that if your eye gives you a problem, take it out. That there's a verse talking about that. And I think that was just God giving me a break and just also helping me realize that you're forgetting to be grateful again,
Wow.
And when my vision started to improve, my face had improved a lot. And I remember catching a glimpse of my face for the first time. I was so happy for the first time to not only see my face, but that I could see my face and that it had gotten so much better. And I think from that time, I started to also look at it from that angle, to be more grateful, to be more appreciative.
Right.
And gratitude is so beautiful. There's so much beauty in gratitude. So the more grateful I was, the more beauty I started to see, in my physical self and also in the inside. The work that I've done to heal makes me so proud and so confident in myself because I know how hard I work. There's work, hard work is suffering. People always, when people say, oh, I've worked so hard, it's also because they're suffering in that hard work. And I have suffered.
It is suffering,
It is suffering.
It is suffering.
And I have suffered so hard for the work that I have done. My joy is so deeply rooted. I'm very hard to shake. I am very hard to shake. And I'm so grateful that this experience has given
you that. And we always say, that's sort of not my belief, but I strongly think that we are here on this earth to love and be loved.
Yeah.
And you touched a little bit about no boyfriends and stuff. How is that? Is it difficult? If it's a stupid question,
no,
I'm
it's
sorry.
not. I love it.
Yeah.
You're the first person that asked me this. Thank you.
Is
I've
it?
been wanting them to ask
To
me
ask
something
you
about
that,
boys.
about boys, because we love boys.
I love boys.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love boys.
Well,
boys,
we
boys,
love them
boys.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't.
No,
we love
we really
boys.
hate them sometimes.
I know, and we
but
need
sometimes
them. And
we need them.
It's nice to be loved.
I love boys.
Yeah.
I love relationships. I love love. Right.
Yeah. How's that?
So before I got into a coma, I was about to get into this really weird relationship that was very misaligned with me, and that probably would have taken me back 5 cycles deeper. I realized that as soon as I woke up from that coma. Part of why I started to go into therapy is because I couldn't resist that relationship. It was triggering all of my cycles, all of the wiring. It was all of it there. Part of why I went to therapy was that. And when I had gotten that bipolar diagnosis, I told myself, "Should me and this guy belong together?" Because he was pretty broken as well. He seemed like he had a bit of bipolar too. But he's an amazing human being. It's just he's emotionally and we're not aligned. That's
the cute way to put it.
We're not aligned. We have misalignment. Not anymore, because we were aligned initially. That's how we ended up in each other's lives. We definitely were aligned at the time. When I was in the coma, he called a couple of times. He was very stressed. When I woke up, I didn't remember dating him. I only remembered him as a friend. So when I woke up from the coma, I had a bit of a few months of memory. A couple of memories just wiped out for a while.
Sometimes, we want to forget the people that we dated. That's where we need the coma.
And I wasn't even dating him yet. I was about to date.
You were about to.
I was about to date him.
I hope you're not dating him now.
No, girl. Yeah. By the time I remembered him, I was like, oh, I mean, as I said, he's an amazing human being.
But not for you.
I was like, misalignment. Misalignment, sir. And I'm sure he knows that as well. We're good friends now and everything.
Okay.
Not good friends, but we're friends.
Yeah.
And then since then, I was very worried about boys for a while. I was like, how are boys going to love me like this? How am I going to attract the boys?
Yeah.
But something I've also realized in my season of healing is that my complicated relationship with my father really affected my relationships. And that I had no idea what the hell I had been doing in relationships that whole entire time. Right. Vela, initially, I was not trying to date. I was like, let me see if I'm even going to be alive for a relationship.
Right.
But since I felt like, alive and well and like I could date, I don't, I mean, the boys are there, of course. The boys are there now. The boys are definitely
the boys are there. The boys are, the DMs are busy.
The DMs are busy. Some of them are playing with me. They think that I have like some sort of like insecurity because I have like these scars. I'm like, nah.
Or they want to play.
Yeah, they think that it's going to be easier.
Gap.
There's people that I've known my whole life who are suddenly in love with me now because they think it's going to be easier. I'm like, do you know how hard I was to be alive?
To get it?
Yes.
I'm
like, if anything, you should have tried before.
Yeah.
Because
now you are like on another level.
Now,
yeah.
I literally built this body from scratch, and you think you're just gonna like talk to me for nothing?
No,
like
it's
definitely not.
Yeah.
But it's also, I've also realized, because I have spoken to some like boys like with the intention to date, and I realized like every time I made an excuse to get out of it, but now I eventually realized that I have a lot of work to do, and it's not something I need to focus on. Yeah, and until I've also figured, I think also I don't need my value to be in the hands of somebody else,
right.
even just by them.
Yes.
I don't need that right now.
Yes.
I think I need to focus on, and I just have a lot of building to do.
Yeah.
I have a lot of work to do.
Enjoy
and
that.
Relationships can take you off. Like I noticed while I was, chatting to these ones, now I'm off. I'm like, why am I off? Like I'm not off. Nothing happened. It's the boy.
It's the boy.
So I was like, the boys need to go.
They want to come for your brain.
They want to. That's all they want. I was like, the boy that's going to get me is going to chase me till he cries.
And that's
day and night.
That's gonna not be a boy. It's gonna be a man.
Yes, a man.
A man.
That's
a man. Now let's go to like sort of lastly to wrap it up. Your foundation and what we spoke about a little bit. Tell us more about that. What has that taught you? What are you doing about it to teach more people besides just the amazing content, you opening up to the world about the syndrome? And that's not enough, but that's enough. Already now because of TikTok and because of you, now I know what this is. If there's a sign of something, I would be able to say, I had this conversation and she said these were the symptoms or this was happening to them. So let's talk about, is it a foundation or is it like an awareness where people can donate and help out and help you out and those who are in the same situation as you?
Yeah. So the campaign, it's a campaign. It's a crowdfunding campaign. And how it initially started was when we first found out about, when I had Stephen Johnson's, we found out about it and it was like crazy. And at some point we didn't know if I would ever be able to lead a normal life, especially when I went blind, So we opened that foundation to sort of, because we also didn't know like also, what the condition might need. So my brother actually started the Rise of the Phoenix and Lip Gloss. It's called Rise of the Phoenix and Lip Gloss.
Okay.
So cute.
Yeah.
And that was just about, getting funds to help, because my mom at that point had stopped her work. We needed help financially. And so that's how it was started for initially. And then we are starting now campaigns for, so one thing I really learned when during my healing journey is that had I not been looking after my body, had I not been, training and eating right and all of that, I don't think that I would have been like this. I wouldn't. I mean, at some point, there's like a skin here that was pulling my body this way. There are so many things that I was not supposed to do ever again, according to the doctors. But only because of movement, like now I can move. I was supposed to have surgery to have this cut, and like I'm supposed to be blind still.
Right.
I'm supposed to be so many things. But because I did my research, right? And I found what was affecting me and what I could do to heal it. Because I honestly don't believe it's not time alone that heals. It's consciousness. And over time, maybe you can have the lack of consciousness because, I mean, over time, eventually you'll say, oh, what's that doing here? But if you intentionally go, oh, I have this. What is wrong with this? Oh, it's white. I don't want it to be white. Can I color it brown? Then you color it brown. Then you've sorted out the symptoms. So it was like that for a lot of my symptoms. I had to research, okay, this is what Stephen Johnson's does. This is what I can do medically to heal it. This is what I can do holistically to heal it. I can eat better. I can do these type of exercises. And that's mostly been my thing also. Because understand medication is what caused this. So I don't take medication now.
I was about to ask, how's your relationship with pills?
I don't take any pills.
Even
I can't
Panado?
swallow them anyways. So even if I have like a lasting pain, I can take a lot of pain as well. Pain is just like a part of the day for me now.
Yeah.
But if it gets that bad, I take that baby, you know, the children's
the syrup.
drinks. Yeah, I take that.
So this thing can be any medication.
It can.
Any medication.
It can be
like
any medication.
Antibiotics.
Especially antibiotics.
Wow.
Apparently there's a lot of sulfur antibiotics that can trigger Stevens-Johnson syndrome. There's a lot of other similar autoimmune diseases that are triggered by. There's one where your body just doesn't move, like where you can take a pill and you get, what is it called? You just
is it like what?
Paralyzed. It paralyzed your nerves.
That lady Kimang Obila Celine Dion. What does she have?
I don't know what she has.
Because you
I
love
know
me.
I just don't know what she has.
Oh, you know her.
Does she have a disease?
Yes.
Oh,
I don't know what it is. It's
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
And it's just pills. You just take a pill, and if you have the genetic mutation, next thing.
Little morning after.
Really?
I'm joking. I'm joking. I don't know.
Advise me.
I mean, we're advising the youth, right? It's a podcast about family.
Pills are bad.
Pills are bad. And that's why, unless
careful.
you really, really are
unless
critical,
you really need them,
you then go. Because some people go on antibiotics more than twice a year.
All the time. They start feeling something, doctor. Pills, job, or anything.
My daughter's pediatrician, he's from China.
Yeah.
He never, ever gave my daughter antibiotics.
I love him for that.
I'm sure Nema has taken antibiotics twice in her 9 lives. Like her 9 lives, which is 9 years. In the 9 years, she's taken antibiotics twice.
As it should be. I love doctors that are holistic.
You know, like
about
holistic,
healing.
yeah.
Don't just do me a quick fix.
Let's see.
I'm a human being. I need to live. I need to stay alive. Just because whenever you want to, I'm going to pay you anyway.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's also something that my therapist now told me, is that we need to be careful with, like, you know, just taking advice from doctors and whatever, and forgetting that being a doctor is also a job. You know, as soon as somebody puts you on a chronic medication, that means you have to keep seeing them.
Yeah.
He's not saying that that's why they put me on chronic medication, but he's also saying that therapists are also not like trauma people that are there to heal trauma. Yeah. They're there to treat the symptoms of trauma.
True.
So
let's go back to the campaign.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes. So the campaign. So I was saying that, like, I learned that how much looking after your body can prevent so much illness. Like I could be blind. I could be sitting in a bed at home, and everybody would understand. It would be like, she had a reaction. Leave her there. You know. Yeah. I am an independent girl.
Yeah.
I am an independent girl that goes to the gym,
standing,
that
honey.
runs. Honey, they were gone. I built this. Everything was gone. I lost 30 kgs. I put my hand behind, trying to feel my bum. It was gone. It was like a sack of potatoes. I did this. I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh my God. I was so mad because that was like 4 years of training gone.
Yeah.
So that's what that is
campaign.
Like, when I realized that how powerful it was just looking after yourself. I wanted to teach people that.
Got you.
And I realized that, like, there's so many people that don't understand that just by looking after your body, even mental illnesses are better when you eat better. When you exercise, when you have the proper sun exposure, when you eat at the right time, and you drink more water. I also realized that everybody's wellness program can never look the same.
No.
We are all so different. Yeah. Part of why medication triggers certain reactions in certain people is because our genetics are so different. Yeah. So how does one's wellness program look the same as somebody else? You know? So now I'm part of the campaign. What the campaign is going towards now is trying to help other people who have experienced traumas, whether mental traumas, physical traumas. We're trying to raise funds to start something up to help other people with similar problems get help. Yeah. Because also I was lucky enough that I had medical aid. So I saw biokinesis. And when I saw them, I had a pen and paper. They didn't want to see me coming. They hated to see me coming because I made the choice to
educate yourself.
Educate myself because I'm the one with this condition. I'm the one living with my body. They give me medical information. Let me get the medical information, get them talking about my condition in a way that I can understand as well, you know? And that helped me realize I had that. So I was able to understand that, you know, diet helps in this way, movement helps in this way. Other people don't. And some people, especially public hospitals don't offer that.
They don't.
People's lives end after they experience something traumatic, things that they had no control over.
Yeah.
So this is what Rise of the Phoenix. It's not Phoenix and lip gloss anymore. It's just Rise of the Phoenix.
So how do people donate?
So I have the link is on all of my socials. Shaz_the_beautician. The link is the BackaBuddy link is right on the bio.
We will also write it down here. Yeah. Oh, Shaz, man, what a lovely conversation I had with you. I think more than anything, as you were talking and you kept on saying, my mom, how I wish you were here. How I wish I brought both of you here. You know, she should be sitting next to you because she's the one who understands what you were going through, even when you were in the coma, what was happening outside.
She knows all of it.
Just by your side, just to show that mothers are important. Mothers play a big role in our lives. Mothers should live forever.
They should. They deserve
Mothers should. They deserve to live forever because
they do.
I don't know where you would be without your mom.
I wouldn't.
What's her name?
Nombuso.
Oh, Mam Nombuso. We really thank you. If it wasn't for you and God.
Hey, but God knew what he was doing.
He did.
He put her.
It's all God. It's all God. Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us. And I just want to say, I wish you nothing but the best. We will keep on pushing the campaign. People should donate so that you can also help other people out there. You are healing a lot of people. You are a beautiful reminder that we shouldn't forget what we have. We really do take simple things as being able to see, to feel. You know, yes, we like saying that the exterior, it does matter. You want to, especially if you're a girl and you said you've always been a girl's girl. You want a girly girl and you want to look cute all the time. But man, when I look at you, I see the grace of God.
Yeah.
God is really good.
He is.
And thank you so much for joining us. And I hope when I come to Durban, I'm going to call you. So we can meet for a drink. You can have a shot, Miss, or you can't.
Just one.
Okay.
Only one.
Only one. Me too.
Thank you so much for having just one for you too.
Yes. Anything else you want to say?
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for this amazing conversation. Thank you for bringing me out here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this platform.
Yeah.
Such a beautiful space.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Free audio post-production. Bye.